Good morning, class. How are you today? Today, inshallah, we're going to start Unit 2. Please. Okay, Unit 2. Who can tell me what can you see in this picture? What can you see? I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can see 5 persons. I can see 5 persons. What do you think they are doing? What do you think they are doing? I think they are acting. I think they are acting a play. Let's know more and more about them. Light, scenery, the wolf, Red Riding Hood, Red Riding Hood, prop, costume, actor. Who can tell me where are they? Where are they? They are in the theater. They are in the theater. Excellent. Class, open your student book, page 30. Okay? Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood. Okay? 1 minute to read this part, then we will come back. Have you finished? Okay, let's listen to this part and then we will do more and more. Class, are you ready for listening? Let's start.
Pupils Book, Unit 2, page 30. Reading. Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood lived in the forest. Her father was a woodcutter. Every day he cut and chopped wood in the forest. One morning, Red Riding Hood's mother said to her, "Here is a cake and a bottle of fruit juice. Take them to grandmother, but don't talk to anyone on the way." Red Riding Hood put on her red cloak with a hood and set off through the forest. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. The forest was beautiful, and Red Riding Hood soon forgot her mother's words. She put down her basket and picked some pretty blue flowers. Just then, a wolf came along the path. He saw Red Riding Hood, and he stopped beside her. "Good morning, my dear. Where are you going today?" he asked. "Oh, good morning," answered Red Riding Hood politely. "I'm going to my grandmother's house. She lives all alone at the edge of the wood. I am picking these flowers for her."
Okay. Let's ask some questions. Where did Red Riding Hood live? She lived in the forest. Her father was, who can tell me her father was? A woodcutter. What did he do every day? He cut and chopped wood in the forest. What did Red Riding Hood see while walking in the forest? What did Red Riding Hood see while walking in the forest? She saw a wolf. Okay, let's move to the second part. Oh, what can you see in this picture? What can you see? Where is Red Riding Hood? She is standing in front of her grandmother's house. What does she have? She has yellow flowers. She has yellow flowers. Excellent. Okay, let's listen, then complete.
"You are a kind girl," said the wolf in a friendly voice. "Look, there are some lovely yellow flowers over there." "Oh, yes," said Red Riding Hood. "Thank you." The wolf disappeared into the forest, and Red Riding Hood picked an enormous bunch of flowers. At last she came to her grandmother's house. She knocked on the door and went in. The curtains were closed, and at first she could see nothing. It was too dark. She felt a little scared, but she was a brave girl, and she did not run away. Then she saw Grandmother sitting up in her bed. She was wearing her pretty pink shawl, and she had her big white nightcap on her head. But she looked very
Okay. What did the wolf say to Red Riding Hood? What did he say to her? He said, "You are a kind girl. You are a kind girl." Where did the wolf disappear? Where did the wolf disappear? The wolf disappeared into the forest. What did Red Riding Hood do in the forest? Red Riding Hood picked an enormous bunch of flowers. Okay? Let's move to student book, page 31. Okay? Are you ready? Who can tell me where is Red Riding Hood? Where is she? She is in her grandmother's house. She is in her grandmother's house. Okay. Look at this picture. Do you think this is her grandmother? Do you think this is her grandmother? Let's listen and see. Okay. Are you ready for listening?
Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, Grandmother, you have enormous ears." "I can hear you with these ears," said her grandmother. Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, Grandmother, you have enormous eyes." "I can see you with these eyes," said her grandmother. Red Riding Hood said, "Oh, Grandmother, you have a huge nose." "I can smell you with this nose," said her grandmother, and her big nose twitched a little. Red Riding Hood said worriedly, "Oh, Grandmother, you have lots of big, shiny white teeth." "I can eat you with these big, shiny white teeth," roared her grandmother, and she leapt out of the bed. It was the wolf. "Help!" screamed Red Riding Hood. Suddenly the door opened, and her father stood in the doorway with his sharp, heavy axe. At once the wolf jumped out of the window and ran away. He was not brave at all. A sound came from the cupboard. They opened the door, and there was Grandmother. She was frightened, but safe, and they never saw the wolf again.
Class, what do you think the meaning of the word enormous? Enormous means very, very big. Very, very big. Yes? The wolf has enormous eyes, enormous ears, and very big nose. Very big nose. Excellent. What do you think? What is the meaning of scream? Oh, scream means to shout in a loud voice. Okay? The meaning of scream, to shout in a loud voice. Excellent. Okay, please move to page 32. Move to page 32. Exercise number 1. Answer the questions. Who can read question number 1? What did Red Riding Hood take to her grandmother? What did Red Riding Hood take to her grandmother? Who can say? You can say the answer. A cake. Excellent. A cake and a bottle of fruit juice. Excellent. This is the answer for number 1. And what about number 2? How did Red Riding Hood speak to the wolf? How did she speak to the wolf? Politely. Politely. Excellent. Number 3. Why didn't Red Riding Hood run away when she was scared? Why didn't she run? Because she was a brave girl. Because she was a brave girl. Number 4. What was grandmother wearing in bed? What was she wearing? A pink shawl and a big white nightcap. Okay. Number 5. Why was Red Riding Hood worried? Why was she worried? Because, let's change the color first. Because what? Her grandmother teeth was very big, shiny and white. Big, shiny and white. Okay. Number 6. Why did the wolf run away? Why did he run away? Because he wasn't brave at all. He wasn't brave at all. Number 7, the last one. Where was Red Riding Hood's grandmother? Where was her grandmother at the end? In the cupboard. In the cupboard. Okay. We have finished this exercise. Let's move to the second exercise. Exercise number 2. Talk about the answer to these questions. Please discuss these questions with your friend. Okay. Let's move to exercise number 3. Write the words next to the people they describe. We have polite, friendly, frightened, kind, strange, safe, brave, worried. Okay? Who is she? She is Red Riding Hood. How can we describe Red Riding Hood? Let's start. She was polite. She was polite, kind, brave. Red Riding Hood was polite, kind, and brave. So close them out. And what about the wolf? How can we describe the wolf according to the story? Friendly, and strange. Friendly and strange. Excellent. Cross out friendly and strange. What about grandmother? What about her? She was frightened and safe. Okay? So, Red Riding Hood was polite, kind, and brave. The wolf was friendly and strange. The grandmother was frightened and safe. So cross out frightened and safe. The last exercise. Match the word to the definition. Check in your dictionary. Let's read these words first, then we will answer. Scream, disappear, forget, leave, set off. Set off. Okay, number 1, to begin on a journey. To begin on a journey, so we will have scream, disappear, forget, leave, or set off. Set off. Number 2, to not remember. To not remember, who can say? Forget. To shout loudly, scream. Excellent. To go out of sight. To go out of sight. disappear. To do a high jump. To do a high jump. Leave. Okay? Set off. Forget. Scream. Disappear. Leave. Class, as a homework, please answer your workbook page 12 and 30. Thank you and see you next class inshallah. Goodbye.